Hey, what's going on? Welcome to the 365FlixCast podcast. I'm here with the squad. We've got
Miguel Antigua
and Jose Mello
in the house. Today we'll be talking to director Mathieu Weschler. He's the director of Attrition, starring Steven Seagal, the premiere 365Flix film. You guys have seen it. What are your thoughts?
I love it. It's pretty brutal. If you're a fan of action, martial arts fights, great cinematography, it's pretty awesome. I think Steven Seagal is back in fine form. He's kicking ass, taking names, and there are a lot of great martial arts actors in the movie too. Right, Jose? The guy from Ip Man is in it.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part about the whole film was the way it was actually filmed. Was that they used that widescreen so that they can get every scene and every action sequence the correct way, because they do have a lot of stars that are well known in martial arts, and they really let them do what they do best, and they really it came out and it ended up looking pretty good.
Sweet.
Yeah, to me it's like the movie was beautiful violence, I guess is how I would describe it. Really stylized but brutal at the same time. And classy, maybe. I don't know.
Classy.
Yeah, it was like classy, brutal, stylish violence. I think there were some scenes in there that
I think people will
felt that way.
Be pleasantly surprised with this. It's definitely a different look at Steven Seagal, but you can
it's a totally different look.
But you can tell that he still got it. He still got it.
Yeah. And Mathieu will be talking to us about the movie, how he got involved with the movie, also how he got involved in directing, how he got involved in Hollywood, and he also has some advice for young budding directors.
Yeah, he's Mathieu. If you didn't know this is something really fun I found out about him in research. He directed a short movie called The Trash Master, made entirely in the Grand Theft Auto 4 engine, which was really cool. He basically just wrote it and created all the scenes using the Grand Theft Auto 4. So like if he wanted to do like a night scene, he had to wait until it was actually night within the game, and for a raining scene, it was really cool. It's I don't know if I might be dating myself here, but it's kind of like those red versus blue funny vids. Anyone remember those?
Yeah.
You're old.
This was back before YouTube. This was like E-Bombs World stuff.
Yes.
Wow,
you know about this, Jose?
The Wayback
hard.
Machine.
No.
Take a trip down the Wayback Machine, kiddies, and go to a place called E-Bombs World.
E-Bombs World, man.
What is it?
It's basically where you would go see funny videos before YouTube.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
It was just a website.
When did YouTube come out?
2008.
2008. Okay.
And yeah, it was before. But before that, if you wanted to see a funny viral video,
YouTube was before 2008.
I'll look it up right now.
It's 2008. It's the
I'm
launch.
thinking 2005.
No.
Let's see. Dun, 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 dun.
February 14th, 2005.
2005. That's when it came out.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
You owe me a shot.
Sick.
A shot of what? What are you into?
Actually, just a beer.
Oh, you fucking pussy.
Favorite beer?
Oh man, that's a loaded question.
What is it?
I couldn't say it off the top of my head.
All right.
It's loaded, man.
Give me 2 tree options. Give me something new that I have to try.
Well, I guess if you would say, are you into Trappists?
Don't even know what that is. So you're gonna have
Monk
to
beers.
Speak to me like I am 2 years old with this.
Okay, Trappist beers are made. There are 6 Trappist breweries in the world. Let's see if I can name them. La Trappe, West Vleteren, Chimay, Rochefort.
Damn, so you're like real into beer. Like,
I can't remember the other one off the top of my head, but so there's 6 of these Trappist breweries, right?
Yeah.
And the beer's made by monks. It's usually Dubel, Tripel, and a couple of Orval. That's the other Trappist brewery, and their style is different than all the other. It's more like a soury, I think, kind of beer, and they have only one, I believe. So
nice.
All these 6 breweries are the monks oversee it, but the one called Weschler, so this is getting to probably one of my favorite beers, is in Belgium, and for most of the time you could only get it if you went to Belgium. So they don't sell it in stores, and you can only go there with the car, and they take your license plate down, and you're only allowed to buy one per year or something like that. One case. And they that's the one with the monks actually still oversee the whole process, and I don't think there's any machinery. It could have changed, but that's kind of why it was popular, I believe. And anyway, finally, this beer, it's always been a beer of legend. You could never get your hands on it, really. And then that brewery made a deal with the liquor store here, because we have like government-run liquor stores. And they came out with like a box set, like six Weschler beers, and what's it called? And a glass, 2 glasses, and it was about $150 for the box. And I got there and lined up like 4 or 5 hours before, and there's like a lineup around the block.
This guy says you would wait for shoes, but beer. Ooh,
there you
I'm
go.
waiting.
Yeah, I know you were gonna say that. That was like 10 years ago, I think, though, at this point. So anyway, yeah, that was, is it better than the other Trappist beers of similar style? I don't know, but it has a better story. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes it's the story behind it, just like the brands, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
So
true.
you're more of a beer guy than liquor.
Yeah.
What about you, Miguel?
I'm more of a liquor guy than beer, but
Me too.
shout out to Cigar City Brewery, local brewery here in Tampa Bay, Florida, as well as Green Bench Brewery down in St. Pete. They give us some pretty good beer. I mean, I don't really. I mean, I like hoppy stuff. I like delirium Tremens. I remember when I went to
Delirium, they have great marketing. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember when I went to their bar in Brussels, in downtown Brussels. They have this giant chalice. It's probably like 2 liters. It's huge. It's glass, and you got to pay them like €60 just to like as a deposit, and then they fill it up with delirium, and that's it. And you just walk around with like, I mean, it's humongous. You got to hold it with 2 hands. I lost mine. I'm pretty sure I broke it. Like after like, because one is enough for like 5 people. So like if you're just by yourself,
challenge accepted.
So if you're in downtown Brussels, everybody go to the delirium store and ask for the 2 liter. Yeah.
See, I've never really got into beer like that. I mean, obviously, I'm just straight out of college, so everything, the cheapest thing, that'll get the job done. But yeah, I've always wanted to get into it.
And a shout out to Sudden Death Brewery for not responding to us at all to get on this podcast of Steven Seagal, even though you have a beer named after him. So shout outs, guys, shout outs.
Yeah, hopefully they'll translate our.
I have a funny delirium story.
What's up? Tell
on
it.
Good days.
Tell
on
it.
Good days. We went out, and I can't even remember who I was with at this point. But she had taken the glass from a delirium glass, and anyways, I was like such a big deal because I was like such a craft beer head then, and those glasses were hard to find. It was like such a trophy. Then we went to this after hours bar, and they wouldn't let us bring it in, and they kept it at the front. The bouncers stole my glass, man.
Oh shit!
And we made such a scene over it. Only people in their 20s would make such a early 20s. We made such a scene. It was ridiculous.
Like sunglasses or like I need to see glasses?
No, my
your glasses, like your glasses.
Like delirium
of
tremens glass.
Yeah.
No.
With the pink elephants on.
Yeah. Those things are expensive. Yeah.
Wouldn't let us bring it into the bar, even though we, kind of took it from another bar. But So, this is things you do in your early 20s. But, we're at this after hours place and the bouncer's like, you can't bring this in. And we're like, yo, you guarantee its safeness? He's like, yeah. No.
Well, what was the mascot on it?
It's a pink elephant.
Like pink elephant? Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, they're great. They taste. It's a great beer.
How big is it?
The
just normal
what
glass?
you because I just
pint. Yeah, I just okay.
Pretty strong too. What is it?
They're very strong. They're very, very strong. They're like really strong.
Yeah. They're like really strong.
They're really strong.
But yeah, no, like on eBay, they range from like $5 to $50.
Do they sell? Do they have the giant chalice?
They range, right? They have some that are just like the elephant with delirium on top of it. These look small though compared to what you guys are talking about.
I think. Let me look it up. I actually have a pretty nice beer collection, glasses, beer glass collection.
Yeah, there's like a giant chalice or goblet. It's a goblet.
Oh yeah, I think there's like a massive one too. Yeah,
that's the one I'm talking about. That's nothing.
Did you find it?
I'm talking about. I'm trying to find it because it is gigantic.
Type in West Veteran 12 so you can see what I'm talking about. There, if you type it in, you can see the box set too. If you guys know how to spell it.
What I'm looking for the giant goblet.
The giant goblet.
The giant goblet. Yeah, no,
That's crazy. You can't even find a picture of it.
It's probably like a one-off.
Oh yeah, I found the West Veltrin Trappist. Well, I think it's because it's only within the store. I've never you never see this anywhere else.
I like the pink and blue look of delirium. It's kind of
it's great.
Kinda. Yeah.
What was that platform you guys said was the thing that before YouTube was? What was it called?
E-Bombs World.
How do you spell it?
World, yeah.
EBAUMS World.
Yeah, okay, that's. What? I've never heard of this.
Welcome. I wonder if it looks the same now.
It's still up? I'm looking just on Google to see what it looked like, but
is it still up?
I don't know.
I'm pulling out the wiki and the Wayback Machine.
E-bombs. What the? When was this? When was this a thing?
This started in 2001. Launched in 2001. Dog.
2001. I was 5 years old.
The site is mostly collections of funny images, memes, and viral videos. I mean,
I don't think memes were even a thing then.
No, there were memes, but people didn't know what memes were.
Yeah, people didn't call them memes.
Yeah, you had the the bad luck. You had the big ones.
Y'all
bad
asked
luck
me
Brian's.
if I knew what this was, and I was fucking 5 years old.
Have you guys ever seen that video?
Yeah,
I was 5 years old when this shit came out.
Have you ever seen that video, Aisha? Do you remember that?
No.
That was one of the classic. It's still up and running.
It's still up and running.
Same classic.
This was one of the classic. They look like this is
little videos.
See, here's the thing. Sorry, like Jose, like this is like amazing. This is kind of incredible because E-Bombs World looks nothing like this.
Okay.
When we were growing up,
did it look like the blue screen right there? Is that what it was?
Yes, that's it, bro. That was it.
That's so weird.
That was it.
Is MySpace still a thing?
Here, look, I'm sending you guys a video. This is one of the E-Bombs classic videos that were on there.
Yes.
This was a big deal back in the day.
Yes.
It was like before videos were like viral.
Yeah, this was before. Oh my god. MySpace still is a thing.
Yeah, I just looked it up. That's some relevant shit. That's what I was just talking about. Minaj drops colorful Barb. Oh no, scratch that.
Barbie dreams.
Days after Cardi B fight. Told y'all.
Yeah.
Sign in. I want to see it. Yeah, I know you got it. You still got it. Don't lie to me.
I'm trying to remember. Dude, I'm trying to remember my email.
Had to be some weird shit. What if we were all known as our first email address that we ever created?
Oh, fuck.
Like, what if that was a thing? What if, like, professionally, you can only make one email per person, and you'd just be fucked with, you'd be stuck with the only thing that you had when you first made it?
Like your social?
Yeah.
Like your first email is like your social?
Yeah. You just, damn. You can sign into MySpace with your Facebook?
I feel like that's...
And Twitter? What?
That can't work.
I mean, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I got to look for my old password, dog. I don't know.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't believe that was it either. Yeah, that's kind of incredible.
That's so. The only thing I remember about it, because I was still young when that came out too. When did the date come out?
MySpace, dude. I remember when your top 8 was like such a big deal. If your girlfriend or your best friend wasn't your top 8, like it was.
Fucked.
Yeah.
See, the only thing I could relate to that is like my top 3 best friends on Snapchat.
Yeah, but that's different.
August 1st, 2003. That's when it came out.
But that's different. Like, I feel like that's different with Snap because your top friends change over time.
Oh, yours doesn't?
Well, it depends on how many times you snap at them, right?
Yeah. But with MySpace is that?
No, it's literally like when you go on to someone's MySpace, you see their profile and you see their top friends, and it's 4 profiles.
Yeah, I remember.
It's 4 profiles that you choose. Your profile. You choose as the profile to display, and then like that meant like those are the people that like fuck with you.
Yeah.
All the time.
That's the OG crew. Okay.
Yeah, so like it was a huge deal. Dude, friendships were destroyed because of that shit. People, you think fucking Facebook ruined relationships? That fucking top 8, I bet you, was the start of a lot of fights.
I wouldn't say it definitely ruined shit, but I think it just exposed. Like that's what social media does. It exposes people.
How many people do you think how many relationships have broken up through like because of Facebook? Not like breaking up through someone through Facebook,
but like because
that's
of it?
shitty. That's shitty. If you're breaking up with someone through social media,
you're most likely a millennial.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit, or a millennial piece of shit. How about that?
Yeah, I mean, you fit into both. But
like, how many relationships do you think guys like have been destroyed due to like Facebook or social media or Twitter or anything?
Ruined by social media. I'm looking it up right now. at least maybe 30%.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I have no faith in humanity. This one says why. It's distracting us from actually spending time with each other. All right, that makes sense. We're stalking each other. All right. We're oversharing.
I stalk people without their Facebook anyway.
He's old school.
I'm old school. All you need is a pair of binoculars.
Wow, that's real old school.
And an unmarked car.
Sounds like too much. I'll just bring my laptop.
And a police detector.
Sounds like you get the whole get out. Like, let me take a look at your car, big guy.
Cool news, guys. Old school film buffs. Big Trouble in Little China will be filmed starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and it's not going to be a remake. It's actually going to be a soft sequel-ish thing. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Anything soft with The Rock, I don't believe. He wouldn't be known as The Rock. That's just lazy writing.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, dude.
I think it's so interesting that you use Reddit so frequent. Like there was no reason for me to be on Reddit ever.
No?
I can't think of any of my friends or anyone that I talk to.
I was on it for a bit, but I'm like, man, people are mean on here. I was like, fuck this. I just like posted some pictures from like I got a trip to Japan a long time ago. It's like and people were like critiquing them like so hard. I was like, fuck, man, there's just like pictures I took like 15 years ago. It's like, but it was like so mean. I was like, all right,
What'd they say?
forget this. No, I don't even remember. It was just like they're like this one has no relevance to this. It was just like I just thought it was cool. It was like, here's shots taken in like the early 2000s just with a random camera, you know, that I found, like, you know, one of these disposable things.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some people liked it, but there were some people, of course, that just like it was just overly angry for no good reason.
Yeah.
Always, just like every social media.
Yeah. Like,
but isn't that a
one's
thing?
not relevant to this group, or this one is, I don't understand why you would be posting this because of the light. I was like, no, this was just pictures taken randomly with a disposable camera I found. So I thought it'd be cool. This is just kind of like a time capsule that I forgot about. You know what I mean? And yeah. And that was like my only time using Reddit. I was just like, okay, because I opened one and I was like, what's that all about? So I go to like travel groups, you know, and like, I don't know.
See,
just not for me.
That like reminds me of, because you said something about just a random pictures from a random camera, but there's like USB drives hidden all over the world, and people can like connect their laptop to it and drop whatever files they want, and then you can see everyone's, like, obviously you can share whatever you want, but then you'll be able to see who's been there and like what pictures that they have, and they're just like in walls. Like, here, look, I'll pull a picture. But basically, they're like hidden all over the world, and people can just, you connect your computer and see what people decided to share, and people will be able to share whatever they want, and then it's just like a mysterious.
Wow, what's to stop someone from putting like a virus though?
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm not saying that your identity won't be taken, but
it's
it
like
could.
It's like, look at this wall.
Oh, that'd be
man, look at this. It sounds like
that's such a way to get like.
Look at this hole. I wonder what happens if I stick my in it.
There's
nothing
like,
bad could possibly happen if I do.
That's like the perfect way to get millennials to be like thinking they're fucking. Wow, this is so like.
This is so cool. Oh my god, let me plug in my laptop with all my information.
That's so adventurous. Like,
my god,
this is risky.
Yeah,
Boom, loses all identity. Yep, now you're no longer me. Yeah,
should have put a condom on that laptop, bro.
This episode of the 365FlixCast podcast is brought to you by Attrition. Attrition, only available on the 365Flix platform. After years of combat, Special Ops leader Axe struggles to cope with the endless death he has both caused and witnessed during his time as a killing machine. Axe removes himself from conventional society and finds himself deep within the heart of the remote jungles of Asia, where he tries to come to terms with the life he has lived. But when local girls start to go missing, Axe's inner warrior rears his ferocious head. Determined to bring the girls home safely, he enlists his bands of mercenaries together for one last epic mission. Don't miss Steven Seagal in his greatest martial arts role in 20 years, Attrition. Only available on the 365Flix platform. Don't miss Attrition, starring Steven Seagal, rated R.
Welcome to the 365FlixCast podcast. I'm Dan Campo, and I'm here with the 365FlixCast squad.
Miguel Antigua
and Jose Mello.
Today we've got Mathieu Weschler. Yes?
Mathieu Weschler, yeah.
Perfect, okay. The director of 365Flix's premiere film, Attrition, starring Steven Seagal. Attrition will be available on September 14th, so make sure you pick it up for your chance to chat with Steven Seagal live in the 365Flix group chat. Hi, Mathieu. Welcome to the 365FlixCast podcast.
Hi.
So just how excited are you for the release of Attrition?
I would say I'm excited because finally it's released. You know, when you do a movie, there is always this time you are stressed, a bit worried about will the movie be released and how. So now I'm happy that finally people can see this movie.
And How did you get into directing films?
When I was a kid, I used to draw comics. Okay?
Nice.
You tell me when you don't understand. Okay, no problem.
No, we know comics are very popular here.
Yeah, that's really
cool. But it was because I saw movies. So one day I say, I like this movie. I want to draw the movie I saw. I think the first time I did it was with the first Die Hard. So after I saw it, I say, I should make a comics of Die Hard. It's a bit strange, no? But I was a kid, so I wanted to put on the paper what I saw last night on TV, okay? And after I tried to do my own story, and I was doing comics and drawing, but very bad. I'm a very bad, how do you say, drawer?
Yeah.
Artist, I guess.
Artist. I'm a bad artist, I can't. But I had some kind of style, no color, just black, but I put the blood in red. So at first my parents were, why is doing some comics with so much blood? But I didn't like the blood. I like the aesthetic. It's a bit strange. So, I did a lot of comics, not always with blood. And one day a drawing teacher, artist teacher, told me, it doesn't look like comics, it looks like storyboard. So he said, maybe you should, go into a more visual direction. He told me about this. And at this time I was loving movies like a lot of kids, and I was all the time I was trying to go to movies, action movies, but I was young during the McTiernan and like all these Die Hard, Schwarzenegger, Van Damme, Dolph Lundgren, Steven Seagal. And I was young, so it was hard for me sometimes to see these movies because they were violent. And my mom would say, no, I don't want you to watch Robocop from Paul Verhoeven because it's very violent. So I tried to hide and try to see all these movies. I think a lot of kids did that because when it's forbidden, you want to see this movie. So I tried to see McTiernan, Verhoeven, John Woo, all this movie. I loved action, thriller, and with my friend we were speaking all the time about this. So I think you get into this when you are a kid. For me, voilà.
For sure.
Yep. Yeah, no, that's really interesting that you started with comic books and then went to your art or the teacher who taught you about drawing and stuff, and then she pointed you in the direction of storyboarding. I think that's really cool.
And you can definitely even see this influence in Attrition even.
Well, it sounds Well, it sounds like your experience with storyboarding has really helped you throughout your career. And you've directed a variety of things from commercials, movies, and films, even like scenes from the GTA series.
Yeah.
How do you feel each project differs, like from ads to animation to full-length movies?
Okay, so I would say commercial is quite very close from a movie because Attrition, we don't have 3 months of shooting, so it's like a commercial. You have a budget, you have, for example, 1 day or 2 days of shooting. You have to be very efficient, so you do long days and you have to be very well organized. You have to come on the set, and when we say okay, we start, you don't have to what I'm gonna shoot, I should do that you you don't have the free time this time. So I think if you come to the set and you know what you want to do, because you work, like I'm a very like a school student. I'm doing my homework and I come with my little paper and say, so we start with this shot and then this. I like to be organized, and after it's like a commercial. You have 14 hours and you have a producer, because in commercial you are not free. You know what I mean? It's not, you don't have it's very rare. You say rare? It's very unusual to have the final cut on a commercial, because you are working for someone, and you are working for a product. So if it's a big brand, if it's you work for them, okay? They don't work for you. And sometimes you can work a bit on their script, on their story, but at the end, they have the choice. And I guess the experience in movies is quite the same. So it depends. If doing a movie like Attrition is like doing maybe a movie American. So I have, I can be free. I can do a lot of things, but at the end, you have to do, you have to talk with the producer. You can't do, how do you say when you do what you want, like a free ride, and go in a way that nobody wants, but you say, I don't care, I am the director, you know? So making a commercial is to learn to work with people and to learn to work efficient. Okay?
Nice. No time for drama queens.
No drama queens, and you have to be organized. Yes, and and never forget that you work not just for you. It's teamwork.
Absolutely. I think that's something that gets overlooked from probably the general public. But the Trashmaster film was made entirely from the GTA 4 engine. Could you please tell us a bit more about this project?
So yes, Trashmaster was a nerdy geek project because at this time I really wanted to do a movie. I had no contacts, no money. When this game was released, I said, "Oh my God, they have an amazing tool and very beautiful game." So I bought it on PC, on computer, and I was free. However, I had to find sheets, trainer made by GTA fan to be in God mode, like in the game, change some light, texture, add character, play everybody. But it was, I could do what I wanted. I had New York for me. And I was doing like a normal movie. So I was in the game. I was driving my car to see, I should make a sequence here. I was spotting a good place in the games and I was preparing the shooting. And then I was coming back. I was waiting for rain or sun or night. Before I have the shit, I had to wait for the rain or for the night in the game. So it was very fun. And today it's one of my projects because I rewrite the movie Trashmaster to be a feature film. So
That's
maybe
awesome.
I hope one day I will go from the GTA machinima, they call it machinima, to the real feature.
And can fans find the Trashmaster original one online?
Yeah. I will send you a link if you want.
Well, like announce it so that in case so that fans can go it. We'll put the link.
It's available on YouTube.
You got it, and we'll put and anyone listening, we'll put the link in our description when you click on the podcast. So check it out. An entire feature made entirely within the GTA engine. Pretty great.
Yeah.
How did your time at the University of Bordeaux impact your directing style?
Oh, so this question, I know that in US you have crazy good university for movies. I know like USC or UCLA. Sometimes we see these people like very famous director that went in this school. In France, we have two very famous schools. La Femis and Louis Lumière for technical and director, but very hard school to enter because it's very there is very few places. So if you can't go to this school, you have some movie faculty, but this university, they are more on how do you say, an intellectual line.
More academic.
Yeah, more academic. It means you learn about theater. You learn about how did they make a movie during the 30s, the 40s, very old movie. It's like history of movie. So at first, when I was happy because I was learning movies, and it's always good to know this thing because, you know, I was watching Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven movie. I was watching Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Woo. So when you go in the school, you learn about other people like Hitchcock. You learn about a very old famous French or American or Japanese director. So it's good for your brain. But what was good is that they let us a lot of time to do our own movie on our free time. So I would say that when you go on this kind of university, you have to make a short movie or a long movie. So I did a long feature. It took me 1 year with my friends. It was very funny, but at the end we have a 3 hours movie full of horror and gore and comedy, crazy, but that was a very funny year. But I would say that you have to make friends, and sometimes you have to shoot with your friend instead of going to university. Because don't waste time. I don't say it's waste. It's not nice to say that, because some people, they love to after they can work on the movie industry, but on other if you want to direct, you have to direct, because it's very hard to, when you are not in a very famous school and you don't have a lot of people who say how to hold the camera, why you use a traveling, how to make a traveling. It's very technical. And so if you want to learn technique, you have to do your technique. If you want to do a traveling, you have to find an idea for the traveling. But it's not at the university that they will give you, okay, take the skateboard and do a traveling with the skateboard. No, you have to learn on yourself. I don't know if I am clear.
No, you're very clear.
Yeah, it sounds pretty straightforward. It sounds like in order to learn how to perfect it, you have to just do it, right?
Yeah, do it.
And then once you do
and
it,
you don't care if it's ugly. The next movie will be better, and it's so, and you learn and you have so much fun. So
absolutely, it sounds like you love the process of learning and trying to make it perfect. That's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like there goes a lot into creating a movie. I'm not sure if our viewers know how much there goes into creating a movie with crews. And aside from just actors and cameras, you got the crew, you got traveling, you got permits. What is a common misconception that most viewers would have on what it takes to direct and create a full feature film?
So you're right. There is a lot. You talk a lot to a lot of people all the time. You do. I don't remember. There was a director who said that being a director is to answer one question every 30 seconds during 10 hours. I think it's this, because everybody is asking you a question for everything. So the misconception, for example, it's funny, but you know, I used to say 10 years ago, I'm trying to direct a movie, I'm a director, and people will say, oh, okay, this is the little camera I bought at the supermarket. I have a problem. How do you rec? I say, I'm not a cameraman. So first misconception, I do not hold the camera. I think it's very heavy. And when I have the camera and all the lens and you have to move, it's a real job. And we had an Attrition. We had amazing... I had my friend Vincent, an amazing DP, who is too a cameraman. So I did 2 movies with him, my first movie and Attrition. So, and I have Ross Clarkson, who is a famous cameraman who did a lot of action movie. And these guys, they have an experience and they are dedicated to this. So if you have the camera, I know some directors, they love to hold the camera because you feel what you shoot. And sometimes I want to grab the camera, but I think I'm more useful being to talk, to say to the DP what I want, and to say to the cameraman what kind of shot we want, what kind of light to talk to. So while they are doing this, you can go and talk to the actor. You know, it's so you have to talk a lot and to every subject, and you have and they expect you often to have an answer. So it can be very stressful because you have to be very efficient on your answer, and you have to make choice. And sometimes,
usually think that I thought that director for the longest time. I thought that the director was the guy that plotted the shots and sort of told, but it's actually the cameraman. It sounds like, right?
Yeah. In fact, there is 2 kinds of directors. There is some directors that don't like to. The shots, they are not very on aesthetic or technique. They don't really know. They say, shoot like this. I want a close-up. You put the lens you want, but I want this to be a good close-up, But and they prefer, for example, just some directors, they just speak to the actor. They are more... Me, I like to speak on the actor, but I really like to control the shot and the camera, and so I think you have to speak to the DP and let them after. You say, I want the traveling, and sometimes he will say, yes, your traveling is a good idea, but if you use this lens, your idea will be better, or this will be better, and sometimes he can say, oh, okay, what about this shot? You know, it comes from you at the beginning because when you have a stronger idea of what you want, but the DP and the cameraman can bring something very important. And
so I know earlier you mentioned the story about you drawing a comic book, but was there a particular event or time that you recognized that filmmaking was not just a hobby, but something you would do for a living?
I think I have a little story. I prefer to tell you a story because it's more fun. I was in Bordeaux, and I was doing geography studies before movies. It's like more serious. Okay, I have to do history and geography, but in my mind, I wanted to do movies. And one day there was this movie called I don't know if you saw it in US. It's called Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
It's from Christopher Gans, who made Crying Freeman and Silent Hill. And he was in Bordeaux for the premiere. And I was with my friend in Bordeaux, and we were crazy of movies. We were doing our own little movies, short movies. And after the movie premiere, the director was here, and we talked to the director, and we say, please, we want to have a coffee with you or to eat with you. Please give us 1 hour and talk to us about the how to direct, to make a movie. You know, we were crazy student, and I was expecting the guy to say, no, I'm busy. And he said, okay, guys, come to my hotel tomorrow morning, and we will have a breakfast. And we say, yes, it's true. It's not a liar. You're not lying? He said, no, come tomorrow. And we were crazy. We were so happy. And so we went to the hostel the day after, and he was here. He woke up, and he told us a lot of story about Crying Freeman, Brotherhood of the Wolf. And it was it was unbelievable that someone took 1 hour of his time during the craziness of the premiere, and he has to come from a city to another, to go from a city to present. And he was very close to us, who were some kind of fans. So I think too it's important that when you do a movie, you are close, and I think it's what you want to do with 365Flix, being more close and from the people who see the movie. And this guy, so he was very nice and he was talented. And so after, how can when you met a guy like this, how can you go back to geography university? No, I say, okay, let's do a movie. Okay, I want to do a movie. Voila.
You touched on this a bit earlier. What advice would you give to someone who wanted to have a life creating films, like young budding directors, or people that want to get into the industry?
Okay, so be patient, very patient. I did my first movie when I was 31 years old. I did my second when I was 36. So it's very hard to make a movie. It's very hard to make a second movie. And it will be hard to make a third. You know, it's not... you have to be patient. You don't have to stop dreaming of making a movie. But you have to be... I don't know what you say in English. You have to be down to earth. You say that when you have your feet on earth. You know, you have... it's like... I think you have to work, and you don't have to stop dreaming, but always be careful.
Wise words.
Great advice from a pro for all you young filmmakers out there.
So that when people read your answers, they say, "Oh, this guy is boring." But it's very, you know, it's very hard sometimes to have good answer, because you can be very general, and so I'm trying my best.
No, yeah, I think the best thing you said was be patient, because I think nowadays everyone thinks everything happens overnight, and that's just not the case. And I think that was probably one of the best pieces of advice that you can give anyone.
Yeah, for example, I did not expect that I would have a call from Steven Seagal. So this is a funny, how would you say, anecdote? You say anecdote in English? Same word?
Yeah.
You know, I was in Bordeaux. I just arrived. I was going to my sister in Bordeaux, and I saw that I have many missed call. And I call. It's a producer who I work on my first movie, and he said, "I'm with someone. He wants to talk to you." And it was, "Hey, Mathieu, it's Steven." So Steven have this particular tone of voice.
Oh yeah.
It's how do you say, low tone voice?
Yeah,
He
we spoke to him.
like this. Yes.
Yeah, we spoke to him yesterday. We did an interview with. Yeah.
So he's very excited.
So, in your opinion, what makes a good film?
So I would say when I see, for example, a John Woo movie like Hard Boiled, why is it a good film for me? I think it's because I love the directing, the mise en scène, the gunfight. Mm-hmm. I love this movie because there is a long shot sequence. I love this movie because it reminds me of my childhood. I like the colors. I even like the music and Chow Yun-fat and Tony Leung, these famous Hong Kong actors. But some director, like for example Steven Spielberg, is very good at his directing. His direction is very smooth, and it's so smooth that at one point you are in the story. He's the best at getting you into a story, and you forgot. Even if it's your job to ask yourself, oh, you use a traveling gear, blah blah blah. No, and 10 minutes after, say, oh, I was in the story. So I had this with some movie of a lot of Steven Spielberg, but I had this with Michael Mann, Heat.
Oh, Heat, classic.
I love so much this movie, and but I love Hong Kong movie. I love Takeshi Kitano, Japanese director. And all these guys, their style are so different, but sometimes a good movie can be a movie that tells you something at one time in your life because it was the perfect moment to see it, and maybe you needed to see this movie at this moment, and so I think it's very hard to answer, but.
You Matthew, you love it. I can tell, we can all tell, like, you love movies. You're a fan just like us, so it's awesome.
So with Attrition coming out as the premier 365Flix film, could you share some of your thoughts on the 365Flix platform that brings the stars to the fans?
I hope people will. I don't know what to say exactly because I tried to go on the website now, but it's not open yet.
No, not yet.
No. So, I think I was talking with the producer Philippe Martinez, and what I like is it's like in the food industry, it's people complain that food go from the farmer to the supermarket and to the industry and then to the customer. So from now, it's like we have, you buy some tomatoes from the farmer directly to the farmer, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes, I think it's a good step between, I was telling you about the story of Christoph Gans who took 1 hour with his fan to talk with us about his movie, and he could have said, no guys, I don't have the time, I'm a great director and very important person now. So I think it's good today that people feel that these movies are not just made for their money, but they are involved. When these guys, they are fan of Steven, they try to reach me and ask me some question, and I try to give them some news about the release or tell them. I say yes. I talk to them. I used to talk to them even last week to some of these guys. I don't know them, but it's important for them to that there is not. I think it's a good idea today. there is Amazon Prime, Netflix, so I will hope that 365Flix will find, his way, and maybe I don't know exactly how it will work, but if you can have more movies that could not be seen, because it's very hard to release a movie today. I think it's a good idea, and I hope you will have a lot of movies and a big catalog, and you keep talking to movies with the fan. Voila.
Absolutely.
Okay,
I mean, that's
perfect.
exactly what we were trying to do. We're trying to close the gap between fans and their
Yes.
favorite action movie stars, and with exclusive content that they,
Yeah.
we really wanna. The way we want to do it is provide them with behind the scenes stuff, and pretty much give them free exclusive content to better interact with their favorite movie stars, and so we could close that gap and really build a community that really loves films.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. And so on this platform, people will be able to see it online, or to buy the DVD or the Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, you'll be able to do both. Once you get it online, you can stream it, or you can also buy the DVD or Blu-ray.
Oh, okay, but I saw it's for now it's just US, UK, and Canada.
We got US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand.
Australia. Okay, what about France? I'm French, guys.
We'll have to ask Philippe about that.
We're working
and
on it.
you can send me a Blu-ray.
Yes.
Is that okay for you?
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you brought up the whole wide camera angle, so that it was like all one shot, because nowadays you see movies where there's a lot of cuts in fight scenes, and I think it really devalues the whole martial arts aspect of the filmmaking process, and I think that's really cool.
I hate the way when you have one shot every 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
it's horrible. You can't see shit,
It's cheap.
it's very you can't see shit. No, you say
Oh no, I mean it's a cheap trick. It's like
it's a cheap, because if you in Attrition, every guys, I mean Steven and the Hong Kong actors like Louis.
Oh my god,
and,
yeah, they're fantastic.
The guy and Chalice who's playing a Black Clown, they know how to fight.
Exactly.
Chalice was Donnie Yen stunt, and
Wow.
these guys are good. We had Thailand is one of the best country for martial arts. So when you do this sequence, it's easy not to trick, because these guys are good. They don't trick. This is their life, the fight. Did you see the movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
It's fantastic. It's so funny that you mentioned that. It's not unlike any other Steven Seagal movie, and I agree. It's so well shot and stylized. Not to say that his other movies weren't, but just you can definitely tell that there was a clear voice, an aesthetic
that's nice to say that, yeah.
an aesthetic that you were going for. You mentioned Christoph Gans, who's if viewers haven't seen Brotherhood of the Wolf, it's a very underrated, very beautiful movie, and I can definitely tell that you were influenced by it in like the shots and in the fight scenes. It has a sort of almost beautiful violence to it. Where going back full circle, do you think Christoph Gans had like inspired you to with the look of the movie?
I think more than Brotherhood of the Wolf, even if I love Mark Dacascos as an actor and a martial artist, I think it's Crying Freeman. I love Crying Freeman. I think it's so beautiful and very slow movie, and it's almost his first movie, because he did the sketch movie before, but for me it's perfect movie. Crying Freeman is and his dedication to the aesthetic and the fight and the precision. But yeah, when I doing the fight I think more than Christoph Gans, because Christoph Gans was he is a fan of John Woo and all the Hong Kong movies. Christoph Gans directed a French collection of VHS movies called HK Video. So all the Hong Kong movies from Chu Ark, Ringo Lam, that I saw, this movie, I saw it thanks to Christophe Gans, because this guy was the one who brought them to France. And this guy, when you see the Hong Kong movies and today, and 30 years later, before, they did, the fight are crazy because they have their style. And when you see Matrix, I will say Matrix because the Wachowski sisters now.
Yeah.
So I love them because they're very good. But Matrix, they use Yuan Wu-Ping as action director, and you can see in Matrix, you can actually see Keanu Reeves acting and fighting, and there is not a lot of cuts.
Oh
and,
no.
That's the way we should do the fight. Sometimes it's good when, like Bourne Identity, the Bourne Identity from the second director, I forgot his name, not the Doug Liman one, but the number 2. I think there is some crazy good fights.
Paul Greenstand?
Yes, Paul Greengrass, yes.
Greengrass, yes.
Greengrass. But these fights are good because it's the Bourne style,
Yeah.
But if you put the Bourne style in Attrition, people would be in Bourne Identity. You expect some fight and shootout, but in this style, in Attrition, the movie try to be slow and aesthetic. So if you do this kind of fight, so sometimes some fights are a bit moving and there is some cut, of course, but this is not a good style for every movie now. So it's not because it works on Bourne Identity that it has to work on. And so of the records, because as I tell you. For Attrition, I'm very proud of what I did. It was not every day easy. Well, okay.
Yeah, it's true.
As a director, it was sometimes. I think I tell you, like commercial, you don't do a movie just for you. But I was free, almost a lot, all the sequence free to do what I wanted about aesthetic, and nobody told me how to shoot. So it was a good experience, and it's just my second movie. And you do a movie with Steven Seagal, so Steven did 60 movies, so you have to be humble, and you have to listen to the producer and to Steven. Voila.
Yeah, no, and I gotta ask, and this can be off or on the record. It's your choice.
Yes.
Whose idea? I got 2 questions, particularly in the movie, about 2 scenes that were were I think were really great, clever scenes. Not just because to me I think that it's not just bringing in the aesthetic, but what can you do with it, and if you can make a clever idea. The reverse rendering of the dude, was that your idea?
Yeah, it's my idea.
That was awesome.
That was cool.
That was awesome. And the other scene is when the villain is in the you first get introduced to the villain, and he's punching in the punching bag, and you see that.
That's my.
I
don't want to say all the best ideas are my ideas, but I did write.
Hey, those
a
two.
lot of little sequence in this movie.
That was awesome.
A lot of little things.
That was awesome. Those 2 parts were my favorite. Were one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It was like
it's a dark humor.
No, I thought it was great. I thought it was exactly. It was it brought me back to sort of that old Korean. It felt like Old Boy a little bit, like trying to get like weird, so, like that sort of weird, funny but like dark humor, violence. It was very cool, man. I thought those scenes were very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
no, I think that's exactly what I say, and I'm happy you like it, because on some movie, some directors, they say I could not do what I wanted, and I have to say on Attrition I could do what I wanted for a lot of sequence, So I'm quite happy with within the time and the money I had. I don't have a lot of time of shooting, I have 27 days. 20.
It was shot in 27 days?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. So we don't have a lot of time. We don't have a lot of money, but I was so happy because I had so much more money than the Trash Master, and I had so much more money than my first movie. They changed the name. It's Lionsgate who released its covert operation in US. I don't think you saw it. My first movie in.
So now that you got a little bit of money in this movie, if Marvel or DC ever approached you to do I don't know, like Iron Man 5 or the next Thor or Infinity Wars 20 or Spider-Man 8, like would you ever do it? Or do you think that that's too much? Or do you think that that's too much pressure?
They will not call me now. But
you never know. They've been they seem to I mean they asked
patient.
Josh Trank did Fantastic Four, and the movie that he did, the only movie that he did before that was Chronicle. I mean they seem to be going through that route, finding indie directors, and because they're probably cheaper, right? And they bring them in to work on these gigantic budget films. I mean, you never know, man. Don't discount it.
But I think it can be very scary. You know, even in Attrition, sometimes you have 100 people waiting for you.
Yeah, oof. Wow.
And you have to say, okay, let's do some where you have a problem, you have to change an ID. And me, I was on Attrition. I think that if I can be proud of something, and if people and the fan and say we saw the movie and we see the movie and we think it's a nice movie. I don't say it's the best movie ever, okay? But if people are happy with what I did and what we did with Steven, I will be happy because, you know, what do you say? I did it with my heart and I tried my best on every sequence. But if on a Marvel movie, I sometimes you read the story and people say that you have every shot you do, you have to ask, you know, the producer, they have to validate everything, every ID and blah, blah, blah. It can be very hard, no?
Mm-hmm.
So earlier, I know you mentioned that you didn't want to sound biased or anything, but Steven Seagal stated that Attrition is his best film in 20 years. Do you think his fans will feel the same way?
Oh, it's very hard to say. I think the fan will be happy because it's. I try, you know, for example, I try to make a very hard work on the aesthetic and the lights, and sometimes you have this 90s vibe. I like, you know, to have a strong light on the screen, and this sometimes when some movies they don't work a lot on the lights, so it's a bit flat. And on this movie, we try to have more stylized and to work because I want the people to see a beautiful movie, and we try to. I think Steven is has a lot of presence in this movie in Attrition. You know, he's not just here to say one line and go back. No, you know, you have. I don't know if you have this feeling, but he's more dedicated to this movie than some previous movie he did. You know, he's the real main guy in the movie, and I think that's people. The fan will be happy with this. So,
what other actors would you like to see Steven Seagal work with in the future, and what actors would you like to work in the future with?
I think Steven should. He should do maybe something I read from the fans. They want him to do an Expendable movie.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
We want him in Expendable. Why? Because Steven was in Machete 1 or 2. Machete from Roberto Rodriguez.
Yeah, first one.
He did the bad guy. It was funny to have him.
I know, it was great. I think he would be great in Expendables. He belongs in that series.
Yeah, he belongs to Expendables, like Dolph Lundgren and all these guys. So
call him up.
I think
call him up. You're in there. Just give Sly Stallone a call. Just tell him he needs to do it.
yeah, but some funny things, and maybe he should do a comedy.
I think so too. I think you know, we've seen him kick enough ass. I mean, Steven Seagal has kicked the entire world through and through. I think seeing him in a different different scenario, maybe even playing the villain in Expendables, that would be kind of cool.
It could be a great villain, and and to you know this movie. Yeah, I know. Yeah, maybe.
I would love. Expendables would be great, but I would.
Yeah,
love
but I don't know if there is an Expendables because the number 3 was not a hit.
I would love to see Van Damme and Seagal work together.
Well, I know they never. Yes, because no, Steven did. Yes, he never did something with Dolph Lundgren or Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I had an idea for the movie. I just wrote it quickly. Tell me what you think. Do you think it would work as a director?
Elevator pitch. Go.
Yeah. Two long-lost brothers, separated at birth, both undercover. One a flashy French detective, the other a hardened former KGB agent and Russian detective. Clash on an international organ smuggling operation investigation. They have to put their differences aside to take out this crime syndicate run by Eric Roberts. What do you think?
Eric Roberts?
Yeah.
I like him. But, so Steven would do the Russian guy?
Yeah. They're separated at birth. One winds up in France, the other winds up in Russia, and somehow their investigation takes them to the Philippines, and they're both undercover, and they end up, fighting and eventually realizing they're brothers and having to work together. It sounds like every cliche in an action movie, from the 90s, right?
Yeah, but it could be fun, no?
It sounds amazing.
So I thought it would work,
Yeah, when you told Philippine, because I say, oh, maybe it's you are making a joke and it's a General Commander movie. I don't know the subject of this movie, but maybe he did it. And after I remember, there is no Eric Roberts in General Commander. No,
this is brand new. This is brand new. Off the pages of Damiano right here.
Yeah, are you listening, Philippe? Are you listening?
But today, if I had to pick up some American actors, I think they are so good. I would say, Jake Gyllenhaal, Joel Kinnaman.
Who?
I like Joel Kinnaman.
Ooh.
I like this guy for the Trashmaster, and I like Keanu Reeves too. I love Keanu Reeves. Is so much a good soul, I think, and I love John Wick. And I like Tom Hiddleston. This actor is very good. And I like to make a movie too with Takeshi Kitano in Japan and in France. If you want some French name, Vincent Cassel, you know him?
Oh yeah, Vincent Cassel. I know him. Yeah, he's. I know him from Ocean's 13 or 12.
Oh no, Ocean's 12.
Like he's been in Black Swan. Yeah, he's fantastic. Yeah,
he's one of the best French actors. There is a lot of French actors that
so many
maybe
great.
one day I will do a French movie.
So many great French. There's so many great French actors and directors, and you included, obviously.
That's nice, guys.
So what's your dream project?
Well,
that's a big question, I know. But
I would say that my dream I have many. I have 5 or 6 projects, and you have always to write 10 projects to be sure that you will have one. But my dream project is to do a fully good movie, a Trashmaster movie. I have several versions of the Trashmaster. I finished to write it this year, and it's like now it used to be in New York, then it was in Hong Kong, and now it's in Los Angeles.
Nice.
So I like the action and martial arts. I would love to do a crazy movie like The Raid. Have you seen The Raid?
No. The which one? No.
The Raid. The Raid.
Oh, The Raid.
The Raid is awesome.
That is such a good movie.
I have not seen The Raid.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah, the action that is unreal.
Incredible.
Just the first one, Raid. Or the
wasn't the
Raid
same
Redemption.
Someone involved with that? Weren't they involved with the making of the Judge Dredd movie?
Oh, that's not it.
No, but it looks like the same scripts. Yes.
Yeah, it was very kind of
similar. Yeah.
It had some type of connection, or something like that. I can't remember.
Are you talking about the good Judge Dredd movie with?
Yes.
He needs to come back.
It was a nice Judge Dredd with Carl Urban.
Oh, Kyle Urban. Yeah. Keith Urban is the country singer. No, he's amazing. I remember.
It was a nice movie.
Yeah, it was a great movie, and he was just perfect. He had that chin. It was just awesome. Sorry, I have a low key soft spot for that Dredd movie.
But you know, the main actor, Iko Uwais, is from Indonesia. He's actually in a 22 Miles movie.
Huh,
Okay.
I've never seen.
Who's the main actor? What's his name?
Iko Uwais.
Yeah,
Okay.
In
wow.
the movie from Peter Berg.
he's a
Oh, the
badass
villain,
movie.
the villain in it. I think he's the villain. I don't remember. I saw it probably like quite a while ago. I think the villain from the movie is also in Star Wars, Episode 7, as one of the guys that's chasing Han Solo and Chewbacca. Yeah. I think I'm looking him up now. His name is Yayan Ruyan. I mean,
He plays Mad Dog, right? Yeah. Okay. Do you have any new projects coming up?
Yes. Well, the Trash Master is on the pipe. I don't know if you say that, but it's on very early
in
stage.
the pipeline.
Nice.
The pipeline. It's
Yeah.
in the pipe.
On the pipe.
It's packed in that pipe, ready to.
pipe.
Yeah, in French, I don't know. It's, sometimes in France we use bad words. So when you do a project and people say, "Is it the project ready? Did you send me?" and you say, "Yes, it is in the pipe." But I don't know if it's a good English expression. No, the Trash Master. But after I have another project called, for the moment, Melusine. It's a project about the Crusade.
Ooh,
It's,
okay, cool.
It's a mix between Crusade and fantastic. So it's based on some French folklore, old stories about the kings and some rings and the real Crusade stories. So this is one of the serious project I'm on it. So I like it, this movie to be made because it's a very big movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I have another project in Japan.
Wow.
So it's a thriller in Japan and with a woman. It's very Japanese movie.
Nice. Yes. So
I
it sounds like you got a pretty busy schedule lined up, Mathieu.
In best case scenario, yes.
That's awesome.
So.
Well, we don't want to take up too much of your time.
No, that's okay, guys. In this movie, I have to, the editor was very great too. Jordan Dieselberg is American. He lives in Bangkok. He did a great job. And in a few time, he's amazing editor. And very good action team. John, the director of the fight, was very good. So, and all the crew in Thailand, last thing, and after I let you, but very good crew in Thailand. I was amazed. There is no very few blurry shots. They were very efficient, very great team for the lights and the technical. You want the traveling, they put the traveling in 1 minute, and very, very great Thai team, very good wardrobe and artistic direction. All the sets, we build a lot of set on Attrition.
No, really.
Yes, there is all the Steven inside his house, when so I think we have very beautiful set, and these people in Thai were very good at it. So I think it's very good teamwork, and so I take the occasion to thank all the Thai crew and all these people who were with me and helped me. Voila.
Nice.
And thank you for this interview.
Thank you.
All right. So, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day today to join us. We really appreciate it. We can't wait for the Attrition world premiere at 365Flix.com on September 14th. And everyone who purchases Attrition will get to access our group chat to talk with the man, Steven Seagal himself, live.
Oh.
So that'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, I think they will be very happy.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much.
And don't forget to send me a Blu-ray.
Yes, for sure. We won't forget.
I will. You have my address, or I will write it to you.
We'll get it. We'll get it from
I'll
you.
hit you up on WhatsApp.
Oh, okay.
Thank
I'll
you.
send you a copy of The China Salesman as well.
No, that's okay. I'm Mathieu Weschler, and thank you so much for joining us at the 365FlixCast podcast. Peace out.